What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of The Impact New York. This is Season 1, Episode 2, and the episode is titled Photo Shoot Showdown. Let's go ahead and jump right into this review. Alright, so they kind of do like this montage of what everybody's got going on. That don't really matter. Let's jump right on to Kitty, okay? Chinese Kitty is delusional as hell because she's sitting there with Fabio Foreign, right? And I'm like, whatever happened to that guy? I mean, I know he's a New York rapper and drill rap was a thing for a moment. Where did it go? Nonetheless, she's sitting up here talking about me and Fabio, like, we're friends and this is what I really like about real artistry. Ain't no money involved. Ain't no I need this or that. I'm like, girl, are you serious? Again, what drug are you on? Because there's absolutely got to be some type of money involved. He not about to just be in the studio with you just because. If y'all lay a track down, there's some split sheets. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's taking the bigger cut because he's the bigger artist. Like, clearly that was a diss to Dream for that whole situation. But I'm like, girl, you do realize that artists get paid for the verses that they give, right? When they collaborate with other people. Like, are you dumb? Oh, my bad. You just think that you're pretty enough to get things for free. Like, girl, that is not how true artistry work. Real artists are about their money. So y'all keep in mind that they are going back and forth between Chinese Kitty and Dream Doll on what was the situation that happened at Ella Band's party. Chinese Kitty is convinced that there's a beef between her and Dream Doll. And I feel like she is the only one who feels that way. Number one. Then she goes on to talk about how, oh, you wanted us to pay $15,000 for your glam. Girl, just say you don't have the money, okay? Because if I'm not mistaken, y'all, remember when Trina had came out with that one album? And I feel like it may have been her last album or whatever. And she got Nicki on the album. I believe that Nicki did it for free, but when it was time for them to do their video, Nicki, I think, wanted them to pay for, like, her glam or something like that, or she wanted to get paid for the video, something along those lines, and baby, that video never came out because she didn't have the funds. So I can absolutely believe that Chinese Kitty ain't got the funds. Now, we go on over there to Dream Doll. Baby girl's trying to zen herself out. You know, she really wished that she did not react to the situation the way that she did because that's who she used to be. She is trying to change her life and do other things. Now, her manager happened to be sitting there with her and she's like, yes, I did charge $15,000 because that's the fee. So her manager goes on to say, hey, I thought that this girl had like a deal, so there should be some type of money behind her. If somebody would have communicated that to me, I could have tried to work something out with this girl. Now, she wants Dream to go ahead, meet up with Kitty, have a conversation. They ain't gotta be besties, but at least be cordial enough with each other just because they are in the same social scenes. And I'm just like, it's very clear that Dream is really trying to grow as a person and the people around her are supporting the growth of Dream and want the best for her. Moving on, we just see a really quick clip of Cleotrapa. She is at a photo shoot and it's going to be for her new song. I must say that I feel like we need to get more into her story, but maybe that's going to happen later. Moving on, we actually see Malini and Scott Louie. Now, if y'all don't know who Scott is, I'm going to need for y'all to look this man up. He is a very, very talented stylist, celebrity stylist. And he also creates cooking content. And oh my God, his food always looks really good. I can't think of what it's called. I think it's like Dinner Plus or something. I can't remember, but y'all, the food be looking good. And he seems to be a really cool person. Like he listed out, he's worked with a lot of top celebrities. And shout out to him for being like super young and being able to work with Lil' Kim. Like, that's pretty big to have on your resume. Nonetheless, let's get into this car conversation. Basically, Malini ends up giving him all the tea on what went down, between Chinese Kitty and Cleotrapa, and also between Chinese Kitty and Dream Doll. So these two end up pulling up to the photo shoot or whatever. And of course, they are hyping Cleo up or whatever, as you should. And Scott ends up going on to talk about how he is planning a dinner. He's going to keep the dream and the cat away from each other. And these girls are not about to be acting a fool in his presence because he don't play those games. Now, come to find out, Scott actually is feeling some type of way about Ella because he followed her on social media and she didn't end up following him back. So Malini ends up telling him, maybe she didn't see the notification or whatever, but I think y'all should have a conversation. And I agree. They can go ahead and talk it out. She can just hit the follow button and it can be done. Now, speaking of Ella, we actually see her with Chinese Kitty. They are at a Pilates class or whatever. And then they end up talking about where does Chinese Kitty see herself when it comes to her interacting with Dream Doll. Now, according to Kitty, it's nothing. So I'm just like, okay, so now you're over the beef? I would hope so. So these ladies start talking about this photo shoot that they have coming up. And I'm going to say it's the photo shoot that they have for the cast photo and everything. So that shoot is coming up. And Chinese Kitty, she goes on to talk about how her stylist had brought clothes for Cleo and Cleo didn't like any of them. But the person that already bought the clothes, it just sounded like a bunch of mess. And I feel like this is all a part of Chinese Kitty's whole gimmick, is that she's going to be the person who brings the mess to the show. Because if we want to be honest, her getting to know Cleo has nothing to do with Cleo and her issue with that stylist. That's a total separate thing. Yes, Kitty, he may be a good friend to you. However, maybe he don't handle his business properly. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this dinner that Scott ends up having. I believe he only invited Ella, Ashley, and Malini. I think that's all who showed up. But, of course, they have to talk about the fact that Ella did not follow him back. Oh, wait, actually, I think Cleo was there as well. But back to the fact that Ella did not follow him on social media. According to her, she don't even pay attention to social media. I can't lie, that's so interesting to me. That people who are they make their money from social media be the first ones to yell out how, oh, I don't know what's on social media. I don't know what's going on there. How do you not? When this is how you make your money. You know what I'm saying? But I guess maybe she has someone who handles her social media at this point. I don't know. But nonetheless, they talk about it or whatever. And I guess he decided that he was going to follow her again so that way she could follow him back. I'm just like, girl, why can't you just be the bigger person and be like, let me go ahead and follow you right now? That's what she could have done. However, some type of way, this circled back to be about her and her baby daddy. And how, he's always cheating on her or whatever. And she doesn't know if on social media, people want to actually get to know her or know him. I'm like, girl, why is it that every time you get a chance to speak, you want to bring up this baby daddy of yours? I'm tired of her bringing up a boogie with a hoodie at this point. What does Ella have going on? I need to see you in some meetings trying to get this fashion stuff off the ground. You know what I'm saying? We got to switch it up, girl. I'm tired of hearing about your baby daddy. Now, speaking of baby daddies, Ashley decided to talk about hers and how her and her baby daddy, they're not really on the same page right now. This man was her first love. She does still have a lot of love for him. And then goes on to tell a story about how she poured hot wax on him. Ma'am, what did he do for you to want to pour hot wax on him? I needed for you to tell us what he did. But also, when people say things that they did treacherous things to people, burning them with hot wax, or they decided to tear their car up, slick tires, and do all that crazy stuff, What's crazy to me is that y'all go back to those people. Or the fact that those people want to get back with you after you done tore up their stuff. I just don't understand people who enjoy toxic relationships. That type of love ain't for me. But let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so we get to this photo shoot, y'all. And first things first that I just want to point out is the fact that Bernice do not need to be part of this cast. I'm sorry, she's hardly with them. I just wish that they would have just made her be like a guest on the show, maybe 3 times max on this series, because she just sticks out like a sore thumb for me. But nonetheless, everybody is arriving to this photo shoot. You know, once everybody gets their looks together, they look really good. Everybody's makeup is on point. Outfits are cute. Oh, but keep in mind that there is already a stylist that is hired for this job, okay? Just keep that in mind. Because we actually go over to Chinese Kitty and she's asking her friend Ernest, who is the stylist, that's her friend, her stylist, not for the shoot. She's like, oh, how are you feeling today? And he's like, oh, you know, because I'm about to kill it or whatever, this photo shoot. I'm like, why are y'all talking in the reverse? Because if anything, you should be asking her how she feels about the day. Because it's her photo shoot. Why are you talking like you about to be taking pictures, Ernest? I'm a little confused. So, next thing you know, Malini comes in or whatever. And they basically talk about what happened between this guy and Cleo. And the issue seems to be that he has refused to give her money back. Now, here's the thing. She says that she asked him to do a job and he did not complete it. He didn't do it. So she wanted her money back. He says that he put in his time and his effort. It's not his fault that you didn't like what he picked out, girl. Like, I just feel like these two definitely need to have a conversation because both of them feel away. And if we want to be honest, they both have some, validity to what they're saying. As for Cleo, yes, I would be upset if I paid somebody for a job and they didn't do it. Now, when it comes to Ernest, he feels like he did do the job. It's just that she didn't like the clothes. So they have to come up to some type of compromise, right? But here's my main issue. It's Chinese Kitty. She over here talking about because I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be put in the middle. You keep putting yourself in the middle. Like, that's all you, boo. Nobody is making you bring Ernest around when you know Cleo is around. Nobody is making you bring things up to Cleo before you even get to know her. This is all your work. This is all what you do. Especially once she was like, yeah, it's an issue trying to be made with me. Girl, you are delusional, okay? Cleo was not on no rah-rah, let me attack Kitty because she's friends with Ernest. That never happened. So at one point, Dream and her team, as well as Chinese Kitty and her team, they all had to share an elevator. Things were awkward, especially considering these ladies don't really like each other. They say that they're going to talk at another time. So we actually see Scott go to Ella's room or whatever. They just kind of chit-chat a little bit. It's very clear that they are not friends. They are not, hanging out with each other. But it seems like they're trying to get to know each other. Now, we actually see Ashley. She goes out to see Chinese Kitty or whatever, say hey to her. And she peeps that Ernest is there, right? So what did she do? Go right on over there to Cleo and be like, listen, girl, guess who I just saw? I just saw Ernest. That set Cleo off, okay? Because at the end of the day, everybody already knows that she has an issue with Ernest, okay? Chinese Kitty, you are the only person who would be bringing him around, trying to be messy. We all can see what you're doing. So Scott, he ends up seeing, Cleo going off. He trying to figure out what's going on. And he even agrees with Cleo. Like, it's not like this man was hired to style us. There's already a stylist here. Why is he here? And I get it, Kitty. You may want to have your friend there as support. But if you know that he has an issue with somebody that's there, don't bring him. Especially if this is a professional setting and you know that things can go left. So Scott, he goes over to Chinese Kitty's room, right? It was clear that he was not trying to be on like no messy stuff. I think he was just trying to get some clarity on why she brought her friend. However, he steps in the room or whatever. Ernest introduces himself, and Scott is like, hey, can I have a moment with her by herself? I just want to have a conversation with Kitty. She immediately puts her arm across Ernest's chest and is like, oh, he stays. Like, girl, you already knew what type of time all of this was on. One thing about Kitty is that she's very messy and she's going to continuously stir the pot. So everybody else leave out the room. And Scott is like, yo, Cleo is going off because this guy is here. Now, another thing that annoyed me about Chinese Kitty is that she's like acting as if Scott is the one who's bringing all the drama to her doorstep, as if she did not start the drama. So Scott basically tells Chinese Kitty to go have a conversation with Cleo. When Chinese Kitty goes over there, she first off saying, girl, fix your face. Ma'am, you the reason why her face is all chopped and screwed down. So we see the ladies kind of go a little bit back and forth, right? And basically, Kitty is trying to play as if she is very innocent. She don't know what's going on. She brought Ernest because that's her bestie. She brings him everywhere with her. Like, oh, I thought the issue was dead. Girl, stop playing. However, you have Cleo. She feels like the issue was never resolved with Ernest. You know that I have a problem with this man. However, you're the one who brought him around. And it's crazy to me how Chinese Kitty just wants to wipe her hands in the situation as if her hands are not filthy dirty. And she's not the one who brought all this mess to the photo shoot. So come to find out, I guess Cleo talked about this situation on social media and Chinese Kitty heard her name on the live. Somebody sent her a clip, and I guess at the time, Cleo was like, the only person that this guy styles is Chinese Kitty. So I said, wait a second, that's your reason for trying to start mess up with Cleo? Wow, that's petty. Because you're mad that she mentioned your name on a live, when really she was just saying, you are that guy's only client. Okay, that's the only person that he dresses. And I'm with Cleo, so you didn't tell me you didn't listen to none of the rest of what I had to say. All you heard was your little peep of a name, and you took that and ran with it and decided to be vindictive. I'm sorry, but Chinese Kitty can go. Alright, y'all, let's just go ahead and move on. Next, we see Ella Bands. She goes out with her girls, and they just going out on the town, having dinner or whatever, and they get into this conversation. Ella, she is starting to do music, and she does not want her friends to, be in the studio with her and helping her out. She wants them to hear the song and give their feedback, but not know that it's her, basically. She wants them to blindly hear this song and give their feedback. Now, one thing that I want to point out about Ella is that I feel like she has a lot of insecurities because when she mentioned how she's just an artist's shadow, which is her baby daddy, she is just, his baby mama, his girlfriend, or whatever you want to call her. I feel like now that she has gotten older, you know what I'm saying? She's starting to reflect on her own life, and she wants to be more than just a famous rapper's girlfriend, number one. Number two, she wants to have her own things. However, I feel like she's very scared of stepping out and trying new things. Like, even though she mentioned that, I want to do the fashion thing, I want to be an artist myself, I feel like she's scared to do that because she doesn't know what the public reception will be. And also, when it comes to her and her children's father, that man is terrible. Now, I don't know much about their relationship. The only thing that I know is the few things that I've seen on social media, and usually it's that they've broken up or that they've gotten back together. The fact that man can go on vacation to the Bahamas as if he don't have a girlfriend and 2 kids, and he's just out there for weeks, that's a problem for me. And then the fact that he just stopped talking to her, like, dude, what are you doing? That you just completely cut off conversations with your girlfriend. It's giving you're a weirdo. But I feel like I said, with Ella having a lot of insecurities, I feel like she doesn't know how to step away from him. Like, I do like the fact that she's saying how she's taking a break from the relationship, but considering the way she has described him so far on this season, and keep in mind, this is only episode 2, I want her to step out, do her own things away from Mr. Boogie with a hoodie. I really do. Because Ella, baby girl, you have got to learn your worth. One thing that I did want to point out, though, is that her friends seem very supportive of her, and they clearly want her to be the star that she's supposed to be and not in the shadows of her boyfriend. But y'all, let's go ahead and move on because we get to Dream Doll and Chinese Kitty meeting up. Alright, so instead of talking about the current issue about the music video, Chinese Kitty goes on to talk about how way back when they did this Thought Box video on social media, Dream Doll was online, and then a fan page DM'd Kitty saying how, oh, Dream don't like you, she didn't even talk to you, and a bunch of foolishness, okay? Can we talk about what's relevant? Because, girl, you still did a song with her after all of this supposedly happened. So this is not relevant to me. Y'all, some type of way these girls came to an agreement that they would do the video, and Dream Doll basically would do the video for free. I'm like, girl, I would have still charged Kitty something. I'm sorry. I don't know you like that, girl, and it's not my fault that you broke. So pay up. Now, y'all, that was the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.